Have you ever looked at yourself and wondered, who are you when nobody is watching? Not the version of you that people know, not the version you post, not the version you've learned to perform. The one underneath all of it. The one you never talk about. Because here's a question most people avoid. If someone took away your responsibilities, your relationships, your achievements, your pain, what would be left? Would you even recognize yourself? We spend years collecting identities. The strong one, the funny one, the reliable one, the quiet one, the one who never complains, the one who always survives. But have you ever stopped and asked, did you choose those identities? Or did they choose you? Were they born from who you are, or from what happened to you? Because sometimes what we call personality is actually adaptation. Sometimes what we call strength is a wound that never got permission to heal. Sometimes what we call independence is a heart that learned nobody was coming. And sometimes what we call being fine is simply exhaustion wearing a convincing mask. Think about it. How much of your life is built around avoiding something you don't fully understand? How many decisions have you made because they felt right or because they felt familiar? There is a difference, a dangerous difference, because familiarity doesn't always mean safety. Sometimes familiarity is the very thing that hurt you, yet we return to it anyway. The same people, the same patterns, the same disappointments, the same stories, over and over. And we call it coincidence. But what if it isn't? What if there's a version of you still carrying something you never processed? Something so buried that it quietly influences every choice you make, every relationship, every fear, every dream, without you even noticing. Maybe that's why certain words hurt more than they should, why some goodbyes feel unbearable, why rejection feels bigger than the moment itself, why you're fighting battles nobody else can see. Have you ever noticed that? A moment happens, a small moment, but the emotion that follows feels enormous, almost ancient, like it doesn't belong to the present. That's because part of you may still be living somewhere you've already left, still waiting for an answer, still waiting for closure, still waiting to be understood. And maybe the most uncomfortable truth of all is this. You can spend your entire life running from yourself without realizing you're running. You stay busy. You stay distracted. You keep moving. Not because you're chasing something, but because you're terrified of what you'll hear if everything becomes quiet. Because silence has a way of introducing you to yourself. And not everyone likes who they meet there. Not because they're bad, not because they're broken, but because they've spent so long being who they needed to be that they've forgotten who they are. So here's the question. When was the last time you sat alone with yourself? Without music, without your phone, without distractions, without escaping, and simply listened? Not to your thoughts, to what's underneath them. Because maybe the person you've been searching for isn't out there somewhere. Maybe they're buried beneath years of survival, beneath expectations, beneath fear, beneath every version of yourself you created just to make it through. And maybe the journey isn't becoming someone new. Maybe it's meeting the person who has been waiting underneath all along. The person you've spent years trying not to become familiar with. Yourself.